So, welcome everyone. In today's session, we are going to deal with a very interesting topic in German language, and is regarded as Konjunktiv II, or more popularly, which is known as K2. Okay, so K2 in the many forms, we are going to refer it like K and these two double lines regarded as K2. Okay, so what is K2 or Konjunktiv II? Whenever you come across this word in German language, okay, while learning German grammar or sentence structuring, what is what is the first thing which comes in your mind? You might be thinking that it is a kind of it is a set of new verbs, okay, but to some extent it is not true. Konjunktiv II, it is not a set of new verb, but it is just a new form of a verb. Okay, we are going to learn the same set of verbs which we have been like learning till now. Okay, and they comprise of some helping verbs, modal verbs, etc. But in a new form. Okay, in a new format. So the very first thing you should note down in your notebook that K2. Okay, so we're going to write it like this. It is a verb form. Okay? It is a verb form. In bracket, you can write keine neuen Verben. Okay? Keine neuen Verben. It is not, these are not new verbs. It is just another form of verb. For example, what is the verb forms? So there are like, we have learned preteritum, we have learned pepe soi, etc. Okay, and we have also seen the conjugation of verbs in various formats. Like for example, in preteritum, if you guys aware of preteritum, so there we used to conjugate our verb in the past tense. Okay, there are certain set of rules and regulations which we follow. Similarly, the cases with the modal verbs, we do a sort of conjugation for them. Similar on the same lines, on the same grounds, we have the Konjunktiv II. Okay, there are again some very basic sets of rules and regulations and very basic sets of conjugations. Now the thing which the next thing which might come in your mind, why we are studying this, why we are studying Konjunktiv II, what is the purpose of studying? We already have preteritum form, we already have pepe soi, we already have other sets of rules and regulations of German grammar. Then why there is a requirement of learning Konjunktiv II? Okay, so why we are using this form? There are obviously some situations, there are some certain conditions which we come across in our day-to-day speech. Okay, so you should note down this form is used now when we are using this form. So first one, you can write polite request, or alongside you must also learn some German words. Okay, so höfliche bitten. Höfliche bitten means some kind of a polite request. Polite request. Next is very interesting, Ratschläge geben. What is Ratschläge? It is a kind of a suggestion. So Ratschläge obviously, but Ratschlag and Ratschläge is plural. Okay, Ratschläge geben, which means give suggestions. Give suggestions, or you can also say advices. Whenever you want to advise someone, you will use Konjunktiv II form of verbs, okay, instead of using your regular form. Third Third, you can write Wünsche äußern. Wünsche, it means some kind of wishes or desires. And this very interesting verb, äußern. Okay, äußern means to express. So to express wishes. To express wishes. So whatever we are going to study, we will study under these 3-4 subheadings. And last is irreale Situationen. Irreale Situationen, which means irreal situations, kind of imaginary situation, so not irreal, unreal, sorry, unreal situations, kind of you can say it is used to express your imagination. Okay, unreal situations. So these are few possibilities, these are few situations in which we utilize the Konjunktiv II form of the verb. Okay, so first is you are supposed to give a kind of polite request, you're supposed to give some kind of suggestion, first of all you are supposed to make a kind of a polite request. Okay, could you please give me your pencil, for example. Okay, next one, Ratschläge geben, just give suggestions. Like in English we say you should go to the doctor. Okay, you are ill, you should go to the doctor. Okay, some kind of suggestions are there. Then next is Wünsche äußern, some kind of wishes. Like if if I had some kind of like a lot of money, okay, I would have bought a charter plane. Okay, so it's a kind of a wish, kind of a desire. Unreal situations, if I would have wings, I would have been fly. Okay, so this is obviously an imaginary situation, like the person wants some kind of wings so that he wants to fly. Okay, so this is the irreale Situationen. Okay, now the main part comes, that is conjugation. Okay, in German, we all know that the verbs are conjugated. The verbs are conjugated as per the, let me write it again. Okay, so the verbs are conjugated as per your person. Okay, so this everybody knows. So obviously, as I told you that katswai is not a new verb. It is not a set of new verbs, but it is a verb form. And if it is a verb form, it is supposed to be conjugated. So you should now you are going to learn the conjugation. Conjugation again involves a set of rules. The very first and the very basic rule is that the conjugation for ish, that is I, first person singular, and er, s, and s and z. Z means she. So in these two situations, the conjugation remains the same. Okay, the conjugation is same. Okay, so in these two situations, it is it me reminding you of modal verbs. In modal verbs, we have also seen that the conjugation for first person singular and third person singular are same. Okay, so this is the very basic and the very first rule of conjugating these verbs. Okay, oftenly. Okay, so where I'm focusing, often. Okay, so more often. Obviously, one thing is that the German is a language of exceptions. Okay, so here that's why I'm saying more often or frequently. Frequently, the Katswai form, Okay, the Katsui form is same as your preteritum form with umlaut, but so I'm giving you this condition, but for what? The condition is for the modal verbs. Okay, so here at this level we are supposed to learn the Katsui of modal verbs plus our two very basic helping verbs, that is sein and haben. Okay, so first, and obviously there are irregularities do exist, that those irregularities we will see in our in subsequent sessions. Okay, so Katsui is preteritum form, it is the preteritum form. Okay, but in that preteritum form you have to apply an umlaut, obviously on an appropriate vowel. Okay, let us see what does this formula signify. If I am saying that Katsui is equivalent to your preteritum form with umlaut, what does this mean? Okay, now let us do a comparative analysis here. So first I am writing presence. So here we are going to see the Katsui form of the modal verbs. First we will deal with our modal verbs, or you can write modal verben and their Katsui. And here we will see how this Katsui form of these modal verbs are constructed. Okay, so let us divide it into three categories. Presence. Okay, then as I said, it is the Katsuis are derived from the preteritum and Katsui or Konjunktiv II. So these are the three tables of comparison we are going to construct here. So let us write our very first modal verb, that is können. Können, I think the meaning is clear. What does this verb means? To be able to or can. Okay, so können can be, what is the preteritum? Konta. Okay, and the rule says that Katsui form of the verb is same as the preteritive form but with an umlaut. So where we are going to put an umlaut, obviously not over e but or a in German obviously, but we will put the umlaut over o, and the reconstructed and the restructured form will be kyunta. Okay, kyunta. So this kyunta is going to act as your root. Okay, and using this kyunta we will subsequently conjugate this verb for other persons or for other set of pronouns, German pronouns. Okay, next one is your müssen. What is müssen? Something you are have to do. So müssen is have to, and its preteritum is musta. Follow the rule, same as preteritum but with an umlaut, that is muster. Simple. Okay, next is mögen. Mögen is to like something. Okay, what is its preteritum? Mochte. And as per the rule, how we are going to construct our Katsui? With an umlaut, and it will be möchte. Okay, möchte. I think somewhere this word is clicking to you. Möchten verb. Okay, would like to. So mögen, mochte, möchte. Next comes your dürfen. Dürfen means something is allowed to. Okay, so to be allowed to. I'm attaching something in order to just give you more clarity. Okay, so dürfen, to be allowed to. What is its preteritum? Durfte. Okay, durfte, and follow the rule. Put an umlaut over u, so you will get dürfte or u. Okay, so könnte, müsste, möchte, and möchte and dürfte. Okay, so these are the K2 forms of these four modal verbs. Okay, obviously it also exists for others, so let us see the next page. These two very important, care to put an asterisk. Okay, these are the exceptions. We have also studied the verb sollen. We have also studied the verb wollen. Wollen means to want, and sollen is to be supposed to. That is supposed to, or it is sometimes it is used in the sense of should. Their preteritum forms are sollte and wollte. Fortunately, so it is going to save your labor. The K2 forms are also same for these two modal verbs. So you should put an asterisk here that the rule which we have built in the beginning is violated here. Okay, it is violated because it is an exception here. So sollen, sollte is the preteritum form, and K2 is sollte, that is same. Okay, now let us talk about some irregular verbs. Let us okay, we are going to do it here. Irregular helping verb. So sein is obviously an irregular verb. Okay, and haben is there, and werden. So we will see these three verbs. So what about zaben? So I'm saying what I'm saying. What about sein? Sein is to be, and haben. Okay, sorry. Haben is to have. But one more thing, these two are going to play a very extreme and a very important vital role here in the construction of sentences using K2. Okay, so haben, sein, and next we have werden. So these three you can categorize them as the essential verbs. Okay, why essential? Because they are going to act as an helping verb. So werden is to become. Now let us see their respective preteritum form of what is the preteritum form of sein? War, obviously we have studied this, and haben is hatte, and next we have werden, we have wurde. There is a slight spelling change, however all these three are going to follow the rule which we have devised in the beginning. What is our rule? K2 is the preteritum form. Okay, so simply I'm going to remove this here from here. Okay, so it is a preteritum form with an umlaut. Okay, so again just keep that rule in mind and put an umlaut over a here. But there is a kind of a slight exception with respect to sein verb and its corresponding preteritum. We simply add an e here, okay, or in German you can call it a. So wäre, then hatte, simply put an umlaut here, hätte, and würde will become würde. Wäre, hätte, würde. Okay, so these are the preteritum forms with umlaut. Okay, now as we have talked in the beginning, it is just a form of a verb. Okay, so we should also learn the conjugations. Okay. So let us start with the conjugation of Konjunktiv. Now we are going to deal with this verb. Okay. So Konjunktiv is the root. Konjunktiv, which is going to remain same for first and third person. For second person, it will be Konjunktiv. Okay. Konjunktiv. Konjunktiv and Konjunktiv. Okay, is it same? Similarly, you can also conjugate musin. So what it will be? Muster, mustest, muster, musten, mustet, musten. Okay, isn't it easy? So I don't think so we are supposed to conjugate them again. This you can practice. Similar endings you are supposed to provide this muster in order to get its conjugated version. Okay, in order to get its conjugation with respect to the other pronouns or okay pronomen. Next is next we have okay, so there were two exceptions with Volta and Zolta. So the original verb, the verb, this new form of the verb will become Volten. Okay, and let us conjugate it. Volta, Voltest, Volta, Volten, Voltet, Volten. Okay. Similarly, let us do for Zolta, and it is obviously this is Zolten. Okay, so we can conjugate them as well. You should simply keep these endings in your mind. Okay, we are providing endings in only these 4 cases because these 2 are going to remain same. These are the same as their root. Okay, so Zolta, Zoltest, Zolta. So I'm going to write here. Okay, in the sequence, I hope it will be clear to you guys. Zoltet and Zolten. Okay, so you should notice these endings. Okay, care to just go through all these verbs and their conjugations. Okay, go through all these conjugations. Now let us proceed with other verbs. Okay, that is are helping verbs. Okay, they are very important. Helping verbs are going to play a very important role here in the construction of the sentences using Katsoi. So I don't think so we are supposed to deal with Dürften again. Okay, you can conjugate as these forms. We have done the conjugation for Kjorten. Okay, we have done the conjugation for Volten, Zolten. So see on the similar lines you can conjugate rest of these verbs. Okay, let us quickly see the most important part, that is the conjugation of our 3 very important helping verbs, that is now, that is sein, haben and werden and their respective Katsui forms. Okay, so for sein, let us quickly revise. We had Vera. So Vera is a root and original form will become wären. Simple. You know that all the German verbs, most of the times they end either they end in en. Okay, everybody knows this. Then we have haben. Its Katswai is hater, and if we construct the Katswai verb, so it will become haten. Similarly, werden, würde, it is the root obviously, and it will become würden. So let us conjugate them. Let us quickly conjugate them. So we are going to conjugate the first verb, that is wären. So see here, carefully notice, wäre, then wärest. Sometimes an E is here, okay, but it is omitted. But both are correct, okay, that's why I'm writing in a bracket. In some text you might find an E here with the ST ending, and sometimes it is omitted. That is just in the classical text and others, but you're not supposed to get confused with this. Next one is your wäre. Now wären, wäret, wären. Simple, okay, is easy. Keep in mind, if you are not able to recall any of the conjugations, you are not supposed to worry. Don't worry, we will do a lot of exercises, we will build a lot of sentences, and there we will gradually utilize each and every conjugation, which is going to be very helpful for us in order to build our understanding. Okay, so let us quickly jump to A10. Okay. Okay, so hater, hatest, hater. It is very easy and very simple conjugation. Okay, so no need to confuse yourself. Okay, and no need to get panic. You are not learning anything extra, but simply you are doing a kind of an experimentation here. Okay, it is just an experiment with our verbs, with our existing verbs. See, the conjugation and the endings are quite similar to your regular verbs. Okay, so these endings are these are quite similar to our regular verbs. They are quite similar to our somewhere you can attach it with the preteritum form of verbs, where we are doing, we do the conjugation of the verbs. Okay, so you are not supposed to get panicked. Okay, it might create a kind of a sense of fear in you, that like there's lots of conjugations there, we are going to learn a lot of things. No, it is not like that. Simply it is a kind of a restructuring of a normal set of verbs. That's it. Okay, so now last one, last but not the least, let us conjugate our next verb, würden. Okay, this is the Katswai of the verb werden. Würde, for first and third person, they are going to remain same. For second person, there will be a slight change, würdest. And here our work gets a little bit easier. So these, see how easy. This is an easy construction. No need to get panicked. Simply try to understand how we are building it. Simple. Now, the very moment we are going to see the examples, okay, one by one, for each and every possibilities, you will be able to understand Katswai more in depth. Okay, now let us start with some very basic examples. Okay, so the very first utility, okay, the very first utilization of the Katswai is done when we are supposed to make a polite request. Okay, a polite request, or you can call it a polite suggestion. Simple. Okay, let us start with the uses and the very first use. Now forget everything. And let us just go a little bit back and recall the imperatives. Okay, now just give a pause here and let us start with imperatives. Why I'm beginning the imperatives? I simply want to give you some examples and how these imperative sentences can be transformed into polite suggestions and polite requests. For example, in 2020, what was there? It was the COVID-19 era. So every time you must be, seeing the advertisements, and the government was requesting you to wear a mask. Okay. So if I want to give you a kind of a order, I will say wear the mask. Wear the mask. Isn't it sound a little bit rude? Wear the mask. Okay. Even if I'm going to attach a please here, please wear the mask, it is it becomes a little bit it is lasting a little bit, a least kind of an impact. Okay, simple. But if I make a kind of very basic request, a very basic request, or a kind of a very basic suggestion with some kind of politeness, I would say you have to wear the mask, or your mask. You can also say you have to wear the mask. We can also say you must wear the mask. You must wear the mask. Or let us go a little bit more in depth of politeness, or a kind of, okay, so you can say, could you please wear the mask. Sorry, please wear the mask. Such kind of there are such kind of possibilities. Okay, they can exist for this one simple command. See, wear the mask, it sounds a little bit odd, a little bit kind of something very impolite. But the very moment you say could you please, or can you please wear the mask, or you must wear the mask, you have to wear the mask, so these sentences are turning into a polite request. Okay. Similarly, if I say if I'm telling you that I am sick, or I'm not feeling good, I have headache, there are two ways. Go to the doctor. What does it looks like? Go to the doctor. So I'm not I'm giving you a kind of a suggestion, but I'm giving you a suggestion very rudely. Okay, I mean, obviously imperatives are good, but there is a lack of politeness. Okay, so you can say there are many ways of saying, like, you should go to the doctor. You should go to the doctor. Okay, or I can say you must go to the doctor. Okay, or you are supposed to go to the doctor. Similar kind of. Okay, you could go to the doctor. So these kind of polite statements, polite suggestions I'm trying to make. Okay, so now it gives a new definition to katswai. Katswai you can relate with politeness. With politeness. Okay, politeness. So whenever you are supposed to be a kind of formal, a kind of polite to someone, you are supposed to use the katsai format. Okay, or katsai form of the verb. Here I can name it Ratschläge geben. Let us see the first case, Ratschläge geben, and how these sentences are supposed to be constructed. Now, if I say, let us have an example. Ich möchte Ich möchte fit bleiben. Okay. Ich möchte fit bleiben. So I want to remain fit. Now I would like to remain fit. I'm asking you, what should I do? Was soll ich tun? So how you're going to give suggestions? You will say you should do yoga, or you should go to, or you can go to gym, okay? But try to be a little bit polite. So first sentence I am saying you should do yoga, okay? Be polite. Du solltest Yoga machen. Du solltest Yoga machen. It is the form of sollen. Okay. Or I can also say you can do some yoga. So du könntest. No, do you in fitness studio again? Okay, let us take that one as well. Is du könntest ins Fitness Studio gehen. Okay, this would be like give some variety to your statements. Okay, so du könntest ins Fitnessstudio gehen. Okay. Similarly, let us see more examples and give some suggestions as well as some commands. Okay. Now, if I ask a question that my German is very poor. Okay, my German is very poor. So I'm going to give you suggestion. I will say you should practice more to improve, or you could practice more to improve. Okay. You should practice more to improve. To improve, or in order to improve. I think everyone is clear with the meaning of them all. Okay. So what does this Kyonten means? It means could. Let us write here. Okay. So Kyonen, okay, and it is in the sense of could. Let me also write the meanings here. Okay, that will ease our labor. That is going to reduce our labor. Okay, so Kyonta is could. Musta is okay. Musta is obviously must or have to in the sense of möchte, would like. Dürfte is in the sense of may, okay, or allowed to. Simple. Sollte is should. Sollte is should. Volta, it is a little bit different. So would want, but that we will see after some time. Okay, that we will learn after some time. Let us proceed here. Vera means would be. Would be. Heta is would have. Would have. And Buda is would become. But there are other relative meanings that we will see later on. So here I'm giving you an example. You should practice more to improve. Okay, you should practice more to improve your German. So how you're going to say for you? Du solltest mehr üben, more to improve. Okay. Besser more in order to improve. Okay, more to improve. besser zu werden. Or you can also use the verb verbessern. So du solltest mehr üben, verbessern. Okay, so zu verbessern in order to improve your German. Okay, zu verbessern. So besser werden can be replaced here. In order to improve. Okay, so you can build some sort of examples. Let us see wear the mask. So wear the mask, we can build 3 sentences. Okay, du müsstest deine Maske tragen. Next is, let us use ihr form. Ihr müsstet your mask, obviously, eure Maske tragen. Similarly, with sie müssten ihre Maske tragen. Okay. So these are the polite requests as well as polite commands. Okay. So this is the first part here, first part of Katsui. Okay. The second part, actually I'm dividing all these all the possible categories which we had studied in 2 parts. Okay, so in the very beginning I have told you that Katsui is used for höfliche Bitten, that is for the polite request. Okay, so polite request we have completed. Ratschläge geben, give suggestions or advices. Now we will see these 2, that is Wünsche äußern and irreale Situationen. Irreale Situationen, these are the unreal situations. Okay, so let us continue with die Wünsche und irreale Situationen. Wunsch or Wünsche äußern. Okay, so and irreale Situationen. The irreal situations. So here we are going to take a short break, okay, and then in the next, after few minutes, we are going to start with Wünsche äußern and irreale Situationen and how we are going to utilize the concept of Konjunktiv II here. Okay,